Luigi Mangione, the man accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, no longer faces terrorism charges. The judge threw out 2 of his state murder charges related to acts of terrorism. Those charges were dropped because New York law doesn't consider something terrorism just because it was motivated by ideology. Mangione does still face the second-degree murder charges for the shooting death last December. He also faces federal charges of murder with a firearm, stalking, and another firearms offense. 9 News legal expert Whitney Trailer joins us now with more on these charges. Thanks for coming in.
Sure, good morning.
All right, so why did the judge remove 2 of those charges?
Well, it was really the way the statute was written, and this was a New York State statute that was enacted after 9/11, and it essentially, it was 2 charges related to murder and terrorism. And so part of the statute says that it has to be intended to intimidate or coerce a civilian population or influence the policy of a unit of government. And so here they're saying, no, he wasn't trying to intimidate or coerce a civilian population. It was really his efforts with regard to United Healthcare. So they dropped those 2 terrorism charges on the state side.
And on the federal side, they never had terrorism charges, right?
Right, which is interesting because the New York State statute was modeled after the federal statute, but the feds didn't go after that terrorism charge, that murder in furtherance of terrorism, presumably because they didn't think they would have it.
Could he still face the death penalty?
Yes, he can face the death penalty on the federal, so there's still the federal murder charge. They just had murder with a firearm. The actual federal charge is murder through use of a firearm. So, and the federal DA said that yes, he's going to seek that death penalty.
Pursue it, okay.
Yeah.
So what does this decision say about the prosecution's initial strategy?
Yeah, well, I think it's saying that a lot of people are saying that this was legal overreach, that the prosecutors on the state side knew that they couldn't get this terrorism charge, but still did it, and they may have done that to get prosecutorial leverage. So they thought, hey, let's put all these charges on, and then we'll maybe plea it down. But still, there's no changes to the federal case. So a lot of legal experts were saying that they agreed with the judge's decision to dismiss those state charges related to murder and terrorism, and they believe it will be upheld on appeal.
So although he dismissed the 2 charges, the judge also rejected several of the defense's requests. Talk about those.
Right. So the defendant, in this hearing, there were a number of claims that the defense made, and so they wanted the state case to be, because there's the state and federal case, and we're not sure which will go first, but the defense wanted the state case to be halted so that they could go forward with the federal case, in which he's potentially facing the death penalty. And so they said, hey, this is going to impact our right to avoid self-incrimination if I have to go to the state case first. And the judge said no. They also argued double jeopardy, which is really interesting, saying that you can't be tried twice for the same crime.
Interesting.
Right, and the defendants were saying these murder charges are essentially the same on the state and federal, but the judge pointed to a Supreme Court case that said, no, these are federal and state. They're 2 separate sovereigns, so it's not double jeopardy. So the judge rejected those defense arguments.
Typically, does the federal cases go first?
It depends. It really depends on the charges and the judge and the state that they're in. So here, the next thing, there's a state hearing on December 1st, and then there's a federal hearing on December 5th. So they'll sort that out.
Back to back.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. That's not the actual trial. That's more pretrial hearings, but we'll know more after those dates.
Whatever one goes first, is that probably an indicator of how the other one's going to go?
It could be. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, there's similar charges for sure. There's the same fact patterns. There's going to be a lot of the same witnesses. But of course, the federal jury is going to be from the whole state. The state jury is going to just be from the county. So it's going to be different jurors. It's going to be different attorneys. I mean, the federal attorneys tend to have a better reputation, if you will. I mean, state prosecutors are great as well, but the feds are you don't want to go against the feds.
Right. All right. Well, we'll see what happens early December.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in, Whitney.
Sure
Appreciate
thing.
it.